Okay, welcome everyone. Let me know, please, that you can hear the sound of my voice. We're going to get started in 1 second. Let me know you can hear me. I just want to make sure that our microphone is being recorded. Okay, Francis, Willie, Roger, Martin, thank you all for giving me a heads up. I'm always excited to be here. I love doing these webinars. Today, we are going to talk about range trade mastery, learning all about the range trade. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10 Minute Trades, and I am excited. We have had a great couple of weeks of trading over the past 2 or 3 weeks, just going back short term, and I'll show you some trades. The range trade has been a major part of what we're doing because we are using range trades on one of our market opens, and I'll show you this morning's market open in a moment. Let me just get through the introduction here. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10 Minute Trades. Please don't forget, it is possible to lose money trading futures. I'm not a financial advisor, so please just trade money you can afford to lose. We trade using the system, appointment-based trading. We use the NinjaTrader platform, and we trade futures, so keep that in mind. I say this in all the webinars when we talk about the earnings that we trade. We devised the methodology to trade futures on earnings. Yes, we look at the stocks, but we're not trading stocks. We're trading futures. You can go to ninjatrader.com to sign up for the platform. They have a free platform, and you don't have to spend money to trade with them. They also have a 2-week free demo. And also, the way that we trade, lots of our members are trading with prop accounts. I'll post into the chat. I'll give you I don't usually sell very much at all. It's just not my style. But I will post our Bullinox affiliate right now. They almost always have a sale going on. So I'll post that into the webinar so you have it. And I'll explain very quickly. So what is a prop account? A lot of people, if you're new, you might not even know what that means. Well, instead of going direct to the broker like NinjaTrader, there's companies that let you trade using the same platform, but you rent it. It's sort of like renting a trading system. You're renting NinjaTrader. You're not coming up with any of your own money except for a reasonable monthly price to use the platform, live data. It's a great way to learn how to trade. It's a great way to trade and eventually learn to take money from the account, trading other people's money. So it's a very, very popular way that people are trading today. And one of the companies we use is a company called Bullinox, Bulenox. Apex is popular, and so many of them, folks. I mean, there's dozens and dozens and dozens. Always just read the rules, know what you're getting into. And then, as I was saying before, NinjaTrader does have a free 2-week demo. There's no excuse not to learn to trade the way that we trade because you can get a free 2-week demo. You could trade with prop. There is no excuse saying, oh, I don't have the NinjaTrader platform. Oh, it's too hard to learn. It's not. Honest, anyone can learn to trade the way that we trade. And there's very few barriers now to learn how to do it. So there's lots of opportunity. At 10 Minute Trades, we have a system. You can trade automatically on some of our trades, manually, semi-automatically. So what do I mean? Let's look at something that relates directly to what we're talking about today. And I made a short little video that I sent out as marketing, making profits with a range trade on NinjaTrader. And we traded the market earnings. We trade them all week. We have a YM setting, and on the YM, we have a range trade. Range trades are very simple. We're using time. We're creating a start time and an end time and a range. So a range isn't very complicated. It has the two middle lines, which are the actual range that gets calculated while the time is going on. In other words, if we say give me a 5-minute range, those two lines in the middle will create the range, and that range will grow. Watch. We were trading, this is an older trade because it's a video that's easy to see. The range didn't move much. It was early in the morning. It was a very small range. Our orders were X ticks below the range, X ticks above the range. I believe they were 8 ticks above, 8 ticks below. And this actually was an earnings trade. This was a United Health earnings trade. We were waiting for the earnings to come out, and then we would get pulled into the market either on the upside through the X or on the downside through the X. The X is our entry. The earnings come out, the market goes short. You could see the earnings go short on this chart on the right. It hits our first target. I move my stop to break even. I move my stop, I trail. It hits my second target. You're out of the trade with more than $200 in profits. The point is not the number of dollars in the profit. The point is the technique that we traded to trade those earnings. Range trades are great when you're not 100% sure exactly when an event is going to take place. Of course, we know approximately when it's going to take place, so we're not creating a range that's 8 hours long, because that would undoubtedly be a very big range. It's not that you can't do that. There might be reasons you would. But for the way that we trade, where we're trading news of the day generally, not news of the week or news of the month, we want our ranges to be reasonably small so that when the market moves, we get pulled into the market one way or the other, short or long, up or down. We're going to obviously get much more into the specific range trades. I was going to show you a range trade as related to the market opens. We've been trading the market opens pretty much almost every day for a couple of months. Let me show you. I thought that I had this morning's, and I'm not seeing it. I do this all the time. Give me half a second, because I know I have it. So let me see if I can find it. What's today's date? Today is the 12th. The market open is right here. Let me show it to you. So let me go to the time of the trade. So 9:30 is the market open. We also had University of Michigan this morning. So 30 seconds before the market opens, we're looking at a range, and we can color our range so you don't have to calculate it on your own. You can see where the top and bottom of the range is. It's a 5-minute range. We use it on the YM futures before the market opens. So there's 4 lines that make up that range trade. The inner lines, which are the calculation of the range, and the upper line, which is the long entry, and the bottom line, which is the down entry. If the market moves up and breaks through the top line when our orders appear, and you'll see what happens at 9:30, our orders, the X's, are going to appear. Now it's not 9:30 yet. It's going to take 20 seconds. So we're sitting, we're yapping, we're talking, we're watching, we're getting ready to trade. We also have a spike trade on the MNQ on the right, and we're 10 seconds away. What's going to happen is our orders are going to appear on the chart. If the range gets broken, we're going to get entered into the market in the direction the range gets broken. This was this morning's trade in literally 1 second. That was a $200 profit. 1 second. You saw it. I mean, I'm not making it up. That was in our prop account. It was easy as pie to trade that range trade. And then also on the MNQ, any of our members that were trading on the MNQ, it was a breakout. So we just get to the same place. When I say get to the same place, what I'm talking about is let's get to a place of profit, a place where we're making money. And we don't care if we get there with a range or a spike trade or a trap trade. But the important thing is we try to know when to use the special ways of trading. The MNQ was a spike. It burst up, and just as fast, it went through all our targets, and we had $250 of profit in our market open account in literally 2 seconds, and we were done. pretty much for most of the morning until the WASD trade. The WASD trade was a breakout trade that we took. And I might as well show you that because it was great. I mean, one member had a problem in his cash account, and every time we trade, we learn. And what's happening on WASD, it's becoming more volatile. So going forward, we know we've got to make our brackets a little bit bigger. And corn, trading the corn futures has made a big comeback. We weren't sure about that, but after today, I'm sure about it. We've seen some evidence, and now we have a lot of evidence. So looking at this morning's WASD, what's a WASD? It's a grain trade. We had soybeans on the left. The price shot up first, didn't fill us, and then it burst down. We got filled short, hit our first target almost immediately, and then we were able to trail our target down for a profit. On corn, I was just simulating corn because I didn't trust corn yet because it's been inconsistent over the past 2 years, literally. It's been probably 18 months minimum. It's been very inconsistent, and we haven't had a good setup on it. But as of the last 4 or 5 months, there's been a rebirth in corn, and today was like the final bit of evidence that it's absolutely ready to be traded again as a breakout because it had a beautiful spike trade. Look at that trade. It was just a beautiful spike to the downside. Easy, not hard to trade, and way to make nice profits. And then, because we know this event pretty well, we know it reverses. We took a reversal in corn, and I was just talking too much and not paying attention on soybeans. There also was a great opportunity for a reversal on soybeans. At the low, it made a couple of new lows, and then the price reversed. But these are some of the things that we teach and that we go over in the trade room over and over again. So our members learn to take these trades. They learn to trade with us, without us, and all the time in our trade room, people are texting, hey, I used a different instrument and I made money. Thanks for teaching me how to do this. That is my main purpose for being here today. I would need to convince you that I can teach you how to do this because I can. And many of our members are here today watching this webinar, even though they know how to trade the range trade. It's great to just refresh your memory, refresh your skills, and we want to teach you to become a profitable news trader and the range trader. The range trade is one of our absolute favorite setups. We have a system. The system is made up of the weekly schedule, daily trade reports, trade room access, and our software. And we have 3 strategies as part of our software. The range trade is very cool. So the range trade, when you call up a strategy in NinjaTrader, you just right-click the chart, click the word strategy, and then you just click on 10-minute trades news trader, and up at the top, the trade type, you click range trade, and you just turn that on, and now the whole range trade setup is on. That's how we turn on our range trade strategy. Inside the software, the news trader suite has a variety of different setups. It's got a breakout spike trade, the range trade, the all-important reversal continuation. Affectionately, we call that a scalp trade, but we don't want to scare you, so it really is a reverse continuation with stops and targets. It's like an intelligent scalp is the way I would say it. And then for our advanced traders, we have some extra setups. If you click the advanced trade button, you get range trade with colored zones, one-click range trades, squeeze plays, trap trades, manual reverse breakouts. Some of these we haven't even taught our members as of late because we're busy making money with some of our main setups. And we're sticking with what's working right now. And the main things that are working the best right now are the range trades, the breakouts, and the reversal continuations. They're like 95% of working, winning systems. Anyway, Sandy, I have a funny feeling that it might just be you because we tested everything. And is everybody seeing everything okay? Give me a heads up if you're seeing everything okay. I just want to make sure. Thanks, Sandy, for telling me that. But I think everything's working, right? Okay, everyone's good. All right, if you have any problems, of course, let me know. So those are the three main setups that we're using that we love. Breakout, range trade, reverse continuations. That's what's absolutely working the best in these markets right now. Let me just put the gold charts on because those are the charts I like to look at, especially during webinars. And let me also put on the NQ, another chart I like to look at. We're getting close to rollover. It's coming. But let's get back into what we were talking about here. We have a system. System is made up of those four elements that I explained. The weekly schedule, the daily trade report, trade room access, and JOBB News Trader software. The weekly schedule is very simple. It has a trigger time, what time our trade room opens, the event we're trading, index risk, and is there a DMM, is there a daily trade report for that particular event, the instrument we're trading, how much risk we think it has. And then we have notes. Usually the notes, are we streaming on YouTube? Is it a report that you should watch? Sometimes what we mean by watch, it might be a new event we're just starting to watch to see if it's worth trading. It might be a good event that is slipping out of favor. Watch is an alert. It means there's extra attention you need to place on this event. Doesn't necessarily mean we're trading it. It means we got our eye on it. So the schedule is very important. The schedule is free. Anyone can get our free schedule. Just go to our main website, 10minutetrades.com. If you sign up for the free video, how to find 10-minute trades, we'll automatically send you the schedule. Why is the schedule important even if you don't trade the way we trade? Well, if you're in a news trade, if you're a soybean trader and you don't know WASDE exists and you're trading soybeans at noon on the day the WASDE report comes out, you could get blown out of your trade. It could destroy your whole trade because you didn't know what news was taking place. Very important to know what's going on in the markets that you're trading. There are multiple categories that create these news events, and news events work because there is expected news that is different from the forecast, and that's what caused the move in these events. And we call that difference between the forecast and the actual result the news offset. Trigger category 1 are high impact economic reports like a WASDE, like a jobs report, like a beige book. Big company earning reports like I showed you with United Health or Home Depot. Trigger category number 3, market opens and closes. Those are the categories in which there's hundreds of events. And we study those categories and we try to pick the best categories to find, the best events within the categories. And we find those events on the various news calendars. They're free. Forex Factory. And I do this in all the webinars. That's why I'm not going to spend hours on it. We have webinars where we get deep into doing this. This is just a cursory look so everybody knows about our system. Forex Factory shows you events. You can easily page through the current events with their little arrow at top. Investing.com, we actually use it to connect and sort of become a part of our charts during our trades. Click on the word tools, economic calendar, and then this week, and you get a full week of economic events that you could go through, see the forecast, the results. Very good website that we love. Financialjuice.com. We use the pro version. They have a squawk box that we love. We signed up for that, and you can create your news feed, and it's not delayed when you use their pro version. So we love Financial Juice because we love listening to the news in our headset while we're trading the headset. No, Roger, this is not an old recording. The WMM in the video slides is a little bit older than the newest one. All right. I'm a live, real person today. And even if it was a recording, it wouldn't make any difference. This is stuff, this is information that is fairly timeless because the methods I'm going to show have been working for more than a year. But this is a live webinar. We have learned that range trades are great on special earnings events, right? Why? So what's the key about earnings? What's the big deal? Earnings are great to trade on selected stocks that move the futures markets. We invented this method. I don't know any other company that does what we do. We look at stocks, but we're trading the futures. So we've done the homework looking at the various stocks and figured out which futures are going to move the best, and we figured out the best settings to trade those earnings. And we have quite a few. It's not every stock because not every stock moves earnings, right? So for instance, we discovered Home Depot. Home Depot moves the YM really nicely. And I showed you this. This is really easy to see. Home Depot also, when they release their earnings, they release their earnings the same time almost always. It's very close to the same time, but it's not exactly the same time. So it lends itself perfectly to a range trade. One of the times we like to use a range trade is when we don't know 100% the exact release time, but we're sure it's going to be fairly close to the time we believe. So we can create a range. For instance, on Home Depot, we create only a 30-second range before the earnings come out. And it's important to understand what happens. After that range is created, our orders are placed on the chart. So if our vetting, if our studying of Home Depot is terrible and we're not correct about how quickly they'll release their earnings, our orders might sit and sit and sit on the chart, leaving you vulnerable to a fill in the wrong direction. What's nice about the range trade, it lets you get the orders on the chart as close to the time you think those earnings are coming out so that your risk is reduced. It's a way to get orders on the chart and using a range of time and also using a market trend. If the market is exploding in one direction, sometimes the range trade will take you in that direction, and we want it to. Other times, the news event is so powerful, it can ignore the trend, and we're just looking for the market to be strong enough to move out of a small range and into the beginning of a move. And that's when we really like to use range trades. So you could see here our orders went on the chart. Home Depot is going to release their earnings in a second or two. The market, there it is. Their earnings came out like 6 seconds after they were expected. We were already filled on our first target. Our software has a lot of management features that let us move the stop to safety if we want to. And NinjaTrader also has manual, easy chart trading features. But the range trade helped us to make a very nice profit on that trade. There are many, many earnings that we used the range trade. Let me show you another one. This was a company called United Health, one of our top of the line earnings trades. We don't care if it's a troubled company. We don't care if there's bad news, good news about the company. All we care about is that there's a good tradable move to take. We put a range on. This was a fantastic trade. It's been one of United Health has been one of our stronger earnings companies to trade. Watch again. Our software is going to put the orders on the chart. There they are right before 5 minutes to 6. The earnings come out right after we put the orders on the chart. We get filled on our first target. We're profitable. Our stop is above entry. You could trail your stop the way I did. That happened to take me out after a couple of $100 worth of profit. Sometimes it'll take you out. Sometimes you'll leave money on the table. Sometimes it'll save a trade if you move your stop. That's about trade management, but it's not about whether or not the range trade is a great way to trade some selected earnings. It's absolutely one of our favorite setups for quite a few of the earnings trades that we take. So it's very easy also to set up a range trade. In a minute or two, I will show you. I want to show you a couple of more trades. The market opens have really been big, popular range trades. And if it weren't for our members, sometimes they give us fantastic heads up. We have a breakout strategy on the YM, and a couple of our members said, hey, check out the ranges on the YM. They're working really well. We checked out the ranges, slightly made a modification to target size, and usually we use slightly different stops. But we came up with a nice setup. But our members, our community, actually, which is a great community, had something to do with these fantastic range trades. Obviously, we had to have good software to be able to take advantage of the thought and the concept. So another day this week, it almost looked exactly like this morning. The YM shoots down, easily hit our first target. I was able to trail. This wound up being a very big trade. On the right side, I already made my money on the spike trade on the MNQ. We have an excellent spike trade set up, but the range trade on the YM made well over $300 on that trade. You could see I was able to keep trailing for a test of the low. A very important concept in our trade room are tests of the highs, test of the lows. We called them potential magnet trades. We did a whole webinar on magnets last week. You can watch it for free on our YouTube channel. Suffice it to say, a magnet is a level on the chart that lots of traders put their orders around, and those magnets attract price, and we exit at the magnets, and we have a software strategy to automate that. Highs a day, lows a day, and also custom magnets, your own indicators if you want. It's a great other way that we trade. We have magnets, we have ranges, we have breakouts, which determines what platform to use. So Leonard, what you mean actually is what determines which strategy setup to use. That's what you're asking me. So that's all. In other words, what Leonard is saying, well, how do you know if you should use the trap? How do you know if you should use the range? That's just us doing our homework and testing the events. If an event reverses all the time right after the news, then we look for a trap trade. If an event explodes all the time and we're very sure exactly when that event is being released to the second, we use a spike trade. If it does reversals and it does spikes and we're not quite sure what time it's coming out, but we have a good idea approximately when, we love range trades for that. Range trades are also great when you want to design your own trades. And one of the things people do is set up their own ranges. So for instance, let's say on a morning like this morning, or let's make believe for now, just because I'll show you how it works. You want to set up a trade at 1:30. Let me see if I can get it set up fast enough. So I'm going to set up a 5-minute range that triggers at 1:30. Right-click strategy, right-click news trade, right-click range trade, and I'm going to start the range, let's say at 13, let's say a half-hour range. I'm going to start it at 13:00. Let me get it right. All right, I have 6 ticks above the range, 6 ticks below the range. I'm going to leave everything else in place, except I'm going to put the end of the range, 13:30. Watch what happens here. I'm going to do 13:30 and 15 seconds. So we just have a few more seconds to explain it. Now I'm showing the range graphics on the chart. I'm in sim. My charts must match and be in sim. I turn on the range trade, and what happens is I'm getting a range being drawn because I created that range. Now it's big because of the time I put in to create that range. I started that range a half hour ago, all right? I started that range a half hour ago. Now, let me make a shorter range so it makes a little more sense. I can explain it better. because if you notice what happened here, that's too long of a range. It started at 829 because I wasn't fast enough. Let's get this 1331.30. 1331.30 is the end of our range, and we're starting the range, let's say at 1320. All right, so you have like a 10-minute range. So watch what happens here. Apply it, okay it, turn it on. Now, perfect. We show the range graphics on chart. We have a setting in our software that does it. When the time of the range ends, our orders are put on the chart, X number of ticks above the range, X number of ticks below. You might just want your orders when the range ends. If you want the market to work a little bit harder in your area, in your direction of the range, you can put X number of ticks above or below the range. It doesn't have to be the same number above. It doesn't have to be the same number below. So why does this even have any meaning at all? Let's say you're a trader and there is a time frame that you know the market responds really well to breaking out of the range or breaking down below the range. And one of those time frames is 9:30 to 10 o'clock. So you could just simply set up a 30-minute range at 9:30, or you could set up a 30-minute range at 9:30 that ends at 10. It'll calculate the range for 30 minutes, and then it'll put the orders on when you get to 10 o'clock. If the market goes up through the range, it'll enter you long. If it goes down, it'll enter you short. That's a popular time of day where the market tends to break out of ranges. So our software lets you use any time. Here are the settings and the way that you actually use this trade. So right now it's 1:30 in the afternoon. The market's starting to get busier as we get closer to the end of the day. End of the day is absolutely a reasonable time to experiment with range trades, right? You could put a range trade to enter you in the market at 4 or a little bit before 4. There's some great end of the day trades. But here's the concept. I'll show it to you one more time because it's very simple, and I'll show you the possibilities inside the trade. To turn on the trade, when you install our software, it becomes automatically a part of NinjaTrader. So you just right-click the chart, click on Strategies, double-click News Trader. I already did that, so it's configured down here, and I chose Range Trade. A range trade has a start time and an end time. The start time is down in the middle here. And let's say we're going to start like we did at 1325, all right? 1:25 Eastern time. We're going to start the range. Then right below that, you have the ability to tell the program, do you want 10 ticks above the range for your entry and 20 ticks below? 10 ticks above, 20 ticks below, they don't have to match. Maybe you think the market is more bullish, so you want it to work harder to take you in on the short side. It's got to go 20 ticks instead of 10. And then you need to show the graphics by just checking the box, show the range, and you can change the color of the range if you want. No big deal. Color is, you don't have to spend much time on that. And those are our setups for the range. We also have, you have to end the range. So remember, we started it, the range start time, we're going to use 13:30. Let's leave it at 30. 13:30. It's already 13:34. We're going to end the range. It's a range. We're going to end it, let's say 13:35. And I'll make it shorter if we, no, 13:37 because it's already 13:35. So we're ending at 13:37, 1:37. We have, how many positions do you want to have? We can have up to 3. How many contracts per position? Position 1 is a 1. That means 1 contract per position. So I have position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. A 2 contract, 2 position trade. I have a target 1, 15 ticks. I have a target 2, 40 ticks. I have a stop, that's 25 ticks. That's pretty much all I need to do. We're trading on the gold chart. That's where we happen to be. We have some other features in the software that we can use. We have the ability to move the stop if our target gets hit. If our first target gets hit, I can trail stops by using our trailing stop mode and turn it on and trail tick for tick mode. All right, tick for tick. And then the default is number of trailing ticks is 1. I just leave that alone. And then my trailing is on. I can start my trailing if I wanted to when a first target gets hit. But I can also, with the target one stop feature, if my first target gets hit, I could, for instance, move my stop to BE, break even, by just typing in BE on target one stop move. The only other important thing we'd have to do, choose the account we're trading in, and it's SIM right now, and we always like to label our trade, range GC. Apply it, okay it, enable it, and it'll start calculating our range at the time we asked it to. 10 ticks above it is our long order, 20 ticks below is our short order. Our orders are going to show up in 10 seconds because we asked the range trade to end the range and the calculation at 13:37, 1:37 p.m. All of those, there it is, there's our orders. If the market is dull, then we don't get in. Maybe we'll cancel it. And we can cancel it just by pressing the X, and it'll cancel the range. Right now the market's a little quiet. It might not fill for a while. That's fine. You want it to break above or below the range. You can move your orders should you so choose. If you get filled, you can move your targets and your stops exactly the same way. Okay? That, very simply, is the range trade. So you can design a trade, any setup, any time frame that you have a time. So if you like trading from 9:45 in the morning to 9:50, you can design a trade for that time frame. If you want to create a range 30 minutes before the market closes, you could put a trade on at 3:30. You could end it at 3:59. And when the market starts moving, if it goes through your range and your orders, you'll have designed yourself a trade. It's very easy to do that. We've designed many earnings trades and many other type of trades that we use the range for. Lots of what we use the range for is market opens these days and earnings, and of course we use it market closes. Very popular use of the range trade. If you want to cancel a range trade, you just press the X's. There's another cool feature the range trade has. I'm going to edit the setup, right click, click on strategies, highlight the current setup, make sure it's highlighted. Also, make sure your enable trade is unchecked, your enabled button unchecked, because if it's checked, you can't see the editing. I'm going to make the time 13:40 so I can show you what I'm talking about. And there's a very cool feature. If you're in a range trade and you really believe the market is pushing in the direction you, or in a direction you want to go, you can put your orders on the trade, on the chart immediately. So here we are, the range ends at 13:40. I want my orders on now. What can I do? Nothing. Range trade now button. I can get rid of, maybe I think it's long only, I can get rid of that, move it away, bring my orders down. Very cool feature. Range trade now lets you enter a range trade earlier before the calculation is finished, but it's still using the calculations to put your orders. So once again, how do you create or set up a simple range trade? And I'll start from scratch, as if you never used the strategy before. Right-click, strategies. Double-click News Trader. Double-click News Trader. When you double click News Trader under configured, you'll get our software. You change the breakout trade under trade type to range trade by just clicking, turning it to range trade. Then go into the middle where it's range trade and you put in your start time. So if you want to trade this afternoon in a few minutes, you would put in 13. Let's say you want to start at 13 o'clock, right? 1 o'clock. And you want 2 ticks above the range, 2 ticks below, or 3, or 4. It doesn't matter. They don't have to match. Remember, they could be different. Important to show the range graphics. Show the graphics on the chart. And then put in the end of the range. What time do you want it to end? 13:45, okay? Because we're close. Who knows? Right now we're not thinking. We're just teaching how to set it up. 13:45. So we have a 45-minute range. You have positions, how many positions and contracts, easily controlled with the position command. What your target is. You could have a small target, 10 ticks. You could have a bigger target, a littler target than what we had, 20 ticks. The target one stop move, 0 if you don't want to move your stop until the trade's over or manually. And then you put your stop in. Then all we do, we label every trade. So this would be a GC range. And the reason we label every trade is because if you're trading more than one setup, they will both show up in the control panel. And we want to know if we have to cancel a trade, which one it is. You could get confused. So labeling everything helps you to be a more organized, less mistake-prone trader. And then you choose the account you're trading in. If it's a prop account, just make sure you choose that account. If you're trading at your cash account, you choose your cash account. Right now we're on Sim because we're teaching it a webinar. Apply it, okay it, turn on the range by pressing the enabled box, and now everything is working. We started. Whatever time we put in, that's when the range starts calculating. We put in 1 o'clock, remember? So you don't have to be there from 1 o'clock. It'll do the back calculating, of course. That would be crazy if you had to be there at the beginning of your range. And now we're waiting until 1:45. That's when it's going to put the orders on. But hey, wait a minute. Somebody just announced something in a tweet and the market's exploding up. Range trade now. Get my orders on. I want to go long. I'll move my orders away. Bingo. I could take advantage of random tweeting, unusual expectation, things that happen that you're not expecting, even though you're in a very structured situation. Our software has a lot of features like that. Our magnet trade can do that. We try to be as smart as possible about the way that we have designed our software. So that's the way that we use the range trade almost exclusively. Our most popular setups would be the breakout trades, the range trades. We have reverse continuations, and we have our magnet strategy. And like I said, all of these setups have been covered extensively in webinars, and we're going to cover them again because we're always adding new features. And a lot of this is available on our YouTube channel. I'll give you our YouTube channel location, the link and everything in a minute. You can trade in prop accounts, cash accounts. Our software is a custom strategy. It's an add-on to NinjaTrader, and I showed you how it has multiple setups: range trade, breakout trade, trap trades, magnet trades. It can automate your trade entries, targets, and stops. And it's also a super ATM program, meaning it's automated trade management. Okay, it allows you to program the movement of the trade, the strategy in the trade. It can move your stops, it can move your targets automatically within setups, within a trade. All right, we have oil trades that we trade, so many different ways that we trade the markets very, very well using these setups. We have had a fantastic week. I've got tons of screenshots that my members have sent to me. I want to show you some. I'll show you a PPI. This was a PPI video. PPI was this week. One of our members sent it to us. He sent us the video. We were trading the YM. This was a great trade. Members made $700-800 on this trade. In a matter of seconds, you could see he was trading the YM. It burst up, $1,660 profit. He traded 4 YMs on that trade. The trade was over in 9 seconds. Obviously, not every single trade is a winner. Nobody would make up a story that every trade is a winner. Our concept is we study all of the events that we're trading and we study their performance and we recommend the best performing events to trade. Every event has individual risk. It's not like you could say, well, what is the profit you've made on all your trades? It doesn't work that way because not everybody trades every event. The way that we recommend trading is break it down into individual events. Trade the events that have the best performance. And each individual event has different risk profiles because they're individual and different trades. I've shown you how we go through the inputs on our software, and I've told you why we often trade earnings. Earnings give us the kinds of moves, okay? The kinds of moves that we're looking for to be able to take these trades. Now, somebody's asking, what's the risk factor? What does that mean? What do you mean? What is the risk factor? I don't really know what that means, honestly. You need to be more specific. Does a trade have risk? Absolutely. Everything that you do when you trade has risk. Every event that we trade, and now maybe this is what Roger means. On every trade, you have the size of a stop that we would use, and you have targets. You also have to understand how the markets work. Sometimes you could have a 10-tick stop, and it could be a 15-tick stop because sometimes the markets go through your stop because they're very fast. Sometimes you could have a 10-tick target, and the markets could give you a 30-tick profit instead of 10 ticks. That's called slippage, and there is positive and negative slippage, and they pretty much wash each other out. Plenty of times we get positive, fantastic, more money than you expect. Just as often as we get a trade that costs us more than we expect. There's no reason to be afraid of slippage because it's a factor in news trading, and we keep that in mind. We know which trades are going to be the most difficult, and we know which trades are generally going to give us the best opportunities, and we're very clear about that in our trade room. And it is really important to come into our trade room and trade with us, because in the trade room, how do you know what the market is at that moment when you're getting ready? We love sending you our reports, and many people subscribe to our reports. But you got to understand, and most traders do, the markets are volatile these days. People are making comments, things are being said that you don't expect. Those comments move markets. So you have a report that can be modified in the trade room because we see what the markets are doing. So that's why it's so important to also make the trade room part of what you do with any system you're trading, obviously if a trade room is available. How do we give our help? Email for questions, tech support, trading help. We do it in our trade room. Members come into the trade room and we're constantly teaching, just like we're doing here, except our trade room is two-way. You can see members asking questions. You can talk to members. So it's easy to set up conversations and have conversations in the trade room. If you just have a question about anything I said here today, you could email me at help@10minutetrades.com. Try to get back to you as quickly as possible. On our YouTube channel, we have tons of free content. Let me post for you all the link. You could join us. We'd love for you to join us. We love our members. I mean, that's the truth. Anyone who's a member knows how much we care about our members and how much time we put into doing things in the best possible way. Sandy's asking, in the range trade, stay after one trade, can you adjust the quantities without starting over, same range, or slight? You could also, yes, you can adjust an existing setup. You can edit very easily. You don't have to start from scratch, and you can also save a template and bring a template back in for quicker editing and just to get going quickly. So yes, absolutely. So look, everybody, here is the deal. We would love for you to join us for all of our upcoming trade rooms, news, earnings, market opens, range trades, magnet trades, everything we do. Get to use our news software, all the strategies that we have available as a full pro member available to you, our daily market mover trade reports, everything in our pro membership available to everyone, to you. We want you to take advantage of this. Our trade room subscription, you can come into the trade room with us. You get the trap trade software, the range trade strategy that I just showed you today. You can trade in a prop account. There's no excuse. I don't have NinjaTrader. No excuse. For $20 a month, you could find a prop account to trade with. Let's say worst case, $27 a month. You can rent the NinjaTrader platform and you can trade with us. There is no excuse by saying I don't want to use NinjaTrader. You can do it. You could learn the way that we trade. We're just doing this for $20.25 for 30 days. It is a steal. www.gopro25.com. It's real easy to join us and set up. It'll bring you to this website. You get our quick start video. You'll get daily market movers, the subscription to the trade room, an appointment-based trade class, our software, all the strategies, everything that we do. It's a full pro trade membership. It renews for $97 after 30 days. All you have to do is send an email if you want to cancel. We're not trying to trick you into staying forever. If you're not happy, send an email. Just send the email, please, before the billing period expires. That's our only rule. GoPro25.com, www.gopro25.com. It's a ridiculous, ridiculous opportunity to see everything we do. Take advantage of all our education for a full month for $20.25. Everything that you get, the News Trader software, the Magnet Trade software, appointment-based trading education, so you learn what we're talking about, the whole system. Learn to choose the events you want to trade. Learn to choose the best events. We'll teach you how to find them. Earnings trade rooms, how to trade those stock earnings with futures. Trade on a schedule. It's fantastic to trade on a schedule. We don't sit and watch trades all day long and watch the markets all day long. You don't have to. What is the estimated time I would need to devote to properly test the software, trade room, etc. during that 30-day trial period? Gary, I would say if you come into half the trade rooms that month, if you come in to a trade room or two a day, and every trade room is on schedule, right? So that's a really good question. How long will it take you to learn if you don't know anything? If you come into the trade room, it supercharges your education. We have a couple of videos you could start to watch, no longer than 20 minutes long. I mean, I have a million videos. If you're the type of person that wants to spend some time watching videos, I'll gladly give you classes that we sell, if you become a member especially. But to learn, come into a couple of trade rooms a day, as much as you can. By the end of that month, you'll know what you're doing. And you'll know if this is right for you or not, because we do so much education in our trade room. Everything is included, Alan, the software, the trade rooms, the daily reports. We set you up as if you're a full-blown, full member. Nothing, it's not a fake trial where not everything is included. $20.25, www.gopro25.com. The catch is, and I'm right up front about the catch, it renews after 30 days for $97 a month, our regular membership charge. All you need to do is send us an email. I've given you the email address. Just send the email before the expiration. It's not a big deal. We don't want to trick you. We want you to stay and be a member. I know how this world works, folks. We know what people are doing out there. I am totally transparent. That's the catch. Okay? We give you the magnet trade setup. the trading room, all of our software. I'm included, and I really care about teaching you how to do this. So www.gopro25.com. It is, I can't think of a more silly price for us to charge, but we've been doing this every month. We run our trial, and people take advantage of it, and tons of people stay, and they're full-blown members. And we're making money. We've had some of the best weeks we've had recently. So you get everything. Final sale call. You get everything. The News Trader software, the Magnet Trade, the appointment-based trading methodology, we teach it. The events you want to trade, trading earnings with futures. It's going to come up in another month. We'll start getting warmed up on earnings. I love earnings season. www.gopro25.com. If you have any problems at all, email me. I'll put up the email right now. Let me type it in. I sent everybody our YouTube, and here's our email. It's help@10minutetrades.com. All right. If you have any questions, feel free, send me an email. I'm really good about getting back, and I'll get back to you. And that's it, folks. That's what we got. So I hope you enjoyed this webinar. I love the range trade. It's a fabulous methodology for what we do. Let me just shoot to our offer here. It's a fabulous methodology, and we love it. Would it be better to wait for Sunday? We'll give you through the weekend, Gary. It's not a bad idea to get started on the weekend so you could watch movies, right? You could spend a couple of days getting familiar with the system. It'll give you a quick start into the system. But hey, for 2 days, you're going to know if you're happy or not. And those 2 days, trust me, they're not going to matter. You're going to know. And if for some reason you want those extra 2 days at the end, I'll make sure you have them so you don't have to sweat it. All right? Everybody, www.gopro25.com. I'd love to see some new people in the room next week. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed the webinar on the range trade. And you want to be with us Monday, trading those earnings and trading not the earnings, but the opens, because because those opens are great. Martin, that's very funny. Ray, I'll see you in the trade room, and I'm sure we'll get some new people. Ray is here. He's our prop expert, one of our prop experts in the trade room. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care.